This Mother's Day is not only about gifts and goodies, it's also about spending quality time together. And our favorite Mama Gone Geek just released a new book all about the amazing world of bees. Here to share a few of her buzzworthy experiments is Lynn Brunelle. Hi. Hello. Is it correct that I can actually turn this book into a beehive after I'm done reading it?
Yes, you can. In fact, let me show you.
Is that not the coolest idea?
The first part is all that you ever want to know about bees,
right,
and all sorts of experiments. The last part is just printed as illustration, right? With soy ink, which is not damaging to bees. You tear these pages out,
right,
and you roll them into tubes. I've done
like so.
Like so. Here, if you want to hold on to that. And then you take the cover, and you turn the cover. This cover's made out of waterproof material. You turn it inside out, and you've got these little brads on there.
And it snaps.
And then you load in. And then you hang that in your garden, and bees will come. Mason bees will come. Wild native mason bees will come. And they're amazing pollinators. They're like, for honeybees, one mason bee can pollinate as many flowers as 100 honeybees. So it takes the pressure off
and they make your garden beautiful because they pollinate everything.
Right.
I think that's the cleverest thing ever. Okay. And what else have you got today?
So, because they're mason bees and they're different than social bees, honeybees, every girl's a queen. So I got a crown for you, and I got a crown for myself.
So it's
just
good
because
for Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day. Yes, exactly.
Everybody should have a crown.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of experiments. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to make a bee hummer. And
what now?
A bee hummer.
Okay.
All right. So take a popsicle stick.
Got it.
And 2 erasers. Stick the erasers on either end.
Okay.
This is a fun thing to do. Kids love to do this. It's a good outside thing.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I think I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to give you a piece of string. You're going to tie it at the end, like right here.
Okay. Tie it like
just
make
to
a knot?
like a leash.
Okay.
Okay. And I've got some. There we go. So you tie it in a knot.
I can't do even the ordinary things on TV. I become totally uncoordinated. Here we go.
All right. So then you're going to take an index card.
All right.
And you're going to staple it.
I think she's kidding me right now. I don't know
if this is a thing, man. And you just staple it on.
Staple it across, huh?
Give it 3 little jobbers.
All right, I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, this is a cool little
stapler. It's
stapler.
cool, isn't it?
What is this thing? Oops, did I run out of staples?
Oh, if you did, it's okay, because I have one previously made.
There it came. I just didn't give it enough chance.
Then you're going to take this wide rubber band and you're going to stretch it so that it is on
the erasers.
Yeah, and then you want to make sure that your string comes through the top.
Okay.
Right.
Can you help me with that?
Yeah. So your string has come through. So what we're experimenting here is with sound vibrations. Okay, now we're going to cut about half of it off. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you, just like hoe down Margaret. Yeah.
This is why I can't have nice things. This is the problem. All right. Forget the crown, but that.
Yeah.
Here, you try in the front row. There you go.
There you go. Try that.
All right.
There you go.
I think I needed longer string for sure.
So this is exactly how.
Fun. That's the same thing that makes the bees make the sound.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna go to the next thing.
That was way fun.
This is my flower that I made, right?
That's very nice.
And here is pollen. Although it's really
confetti.
cut up pieces of cut up pieces of crepe paper. Now, one cool thing I learned about bees is when they fly through the air, the wind blows them.
She's got a bee face on the end of the balloon, just in case. There you go.
The wind blows it, and it blows electrons off. So bees turn out to be positively charged.
Okay.
Just slightly. Flowers that don't move, they get lots of electrons that fall on them. They turn out to be negative charged. So the cool thing about bees, with all the little hairs on their body, they can fly close to a flower and know whether or not it's been visited before, because it won't have an electric charge.
Interesting.
But if it does, if it has not been visited, you just rub it here to build up a little static charge, and then you fly it towards the blossom.
And it picks up the pollen.
The pollen, right. And so sometimes the pollen, I mean, because, yeah, isn't that cool? Because
what
the
a fun
flowers,
thing to do with your kids.
Yeah, and it shows,
totally
you know,
fun.
that it really does that. And so when you look, and especially with mason bees, because they're such sloppy pollen
they're
collectors.
Kind of slow.
They roll all over the place, and so you can really see how they pick up the pollen and bring it to the next flower.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like that, and that's just a great way to teach that negative, positive energy idea.
Cool.
All right.
Now, this is a fun one.
What in the heck have you done here?
These are flowers, can't you tell?
Okay, yes.
Aren't they beautiful?
They are. They're lovely.
So this is my Cheetos. I love this. It's so funny. Cheetos, you know, you have Cheetos, you get that orange stuff on your fingers, and it's really annoying, but it's actually great for this experiment.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to show how bees pollinate. So the first thing I want you to do is lick your fingers a little bit, because this is you. Okay, you're going to reach in. You're a bee, and you're going to go in for the honey there, and it's really Cheetos, so grab her, really kind of mess around in there. Get your fingers all
around. Okay.
Get that orangey stuff all over your...
Alrighty.
And then you can have it Cheeto if you want.
That's all right. It's not my jam for some reason. Fritos would be all gone right now.
Fritos doesn't have the orange thing.
I've got some orange
and
stuff.
then you're a bee, and you fly over to this flower because you want more. And you go in there. And then what I've done is I've taken a tissue and I've stretched it across the top of the cup, and then I put Cheetos inside, and you can see, this is another great way to show kids that that's how pollination happens, because the Cheetos dust is just like pollen, and it's on the inside of the flower. And so when pollen is brought from one blossom to another blossom, it actually allows this thing to become a fruit.
That is amazing. Cool. And people love doing that, right? Even adults, but kids really like that. And I like the way you make the science important. In your book, let's talk about that for just a second. You have 20 experiments including the making of the beehive.
Right.
But what is it that gave you this idea? Why are bees so important, and we want not to be afraid of them, to understand how they work in nature?
Yeah. If I heard the buzz, I was running in the opposite direction. That's how I used to be. But then I read this article about the honeybee hive collapse, right? It's colony collapse disorder. It's a big issue. And since bees pollinate pretty much 3/4 of the food that we eat, if the bees go, we're in trouble, because you can trace everything back to something being pollinated, even pizza, right? You can trace the cheese back to the milk, to the cow that eats the grass, which is pollinated by a bee.
Well, see, that's how they should have fixed this. If they had just said this was going to lead to a shortage of pizza, everybody would be on it. That's excellent marketing. So we need to be aware of the bees.
Right.
And so seriously, doing something as simple as this can make a difference.
I think we all think honeybees. Hive, queen, honey, all that stuff. That's 2% of the bees on the planet. There's 20,000 different species of bees on the planet, and most of them are not living in hives. They're wild, and they're solitary, and they live in these little, they'll find their own little places together. And the mason bees in particular is what I wanted to draw with this book. The article that I read was just scary, and it ended. And I don't like that. I wanted to have a solution, especially something kids can do, and especially with something that you can do with stuff around the house.
And we just did Earth Day, and this is simple as it can be. Now, where would you hang it outside?
So you would
How
put
far
it
off the ground?
You could put it like tuck it under the eaves. You want it to be protected from rain. You want it to be in a southern eastern exposure, because they wake up when their bodies are 55 degrees, then they can get to work. So they need that morning sun so they can have a... I know, me too. Although more than 55.
A certain amount of sun. Lynn, thank you so much. The book is great, and the experiments are always fun. Lynn's got a book signing event to help kick off Children's Book Week this Sunday from 1 to 2:30 p.m. at Liberty Bay Books in Poulsbo. When we come back today, unique and customizable gifts to tell Mom you love her when our All About Mom show continues.